Will here. I kind of skipped the preface to the original Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the Atlantean. So I'm going to go through it real quick, just for the preface. But the next ones, I already did a video on the part of the first tablet. So this is just going to be the preface, and I'm going to get right into it. The history of the tablets translated in the following pages is strange and beyond the belief of modern scientists. Their antiquity is stupendous, dating back some 36,000 BC. The writer is Thoth, an Atlantean priest king who founded a colony in ancient Egypt after the sinking of the mother country. He was the builder of the Great Pyramid of Giza, erroneously attributed to the Cheops, Cheops. See the Great Pyramid by Doreal. Okay, it is. It was discovered by Doreal. In it, he incorporated his knowledge of the ancient wisdom and also securely secreted records and instruments of ancient Atlantis. For some the next paragraph. For some 16,000 years, he ruled the ancient race of Egypt from approximately 50,000 BC to 36,000 BC. Kind of lived a long time there. At that time, the ancient barbarous race among which he and his followers had settled had been raised to a high degree of civilization. Thoth was an immortal, that is, he had conquered death, passing only when he willed, and even then not through death. His vast wisdom made him ruler over various Atlantean colonies, including the ones in South and Central America. They actually found these in like an Inca temple or something. Not an Inca temple. I don't know. Anyway, when the time came for him to leave Egypt, he erected the Great Pyramid over the entrance to the Great Halls of Amante, placed in his records and appointed guards for his secrets from among the highest of his people. In later times, the descendants of these guards became the pyramid priests, by which Thoth was deified as the god of wisdom, the recorder, by those in the age of darkness which followed his passing. In legend, the halls of Amante became the underworld, the halls of the gods, where the soul passed after death for judgment. So he apparently had guards. So that's why people don't have as much access to the pyramids, probably because they get too curious and actually possibly run into something. During later ages, the ego of Thoth passed into bodies of men in the manner described in the tablets. As such, he incarnated 3 times, in his last being known as Hermes, the thrice-born. In this incarnation, he left the writings known to modern occultists as the Emerald Tablets, a later and far lesser exposition of the ancient mysteries. The tablets translated in this work are 10 which were left in the Great Pyramid in the custody of the pyramid priests. The 10 are divided into 13 parts for the sake of convenience. Well, it's actually in 15 parts, I think, in this one, but the last 2 are so great and far-reaching in their import that at present it is forbidden to release them to the world at large. However, in those contained herein are secrets which will prove of inestimable value to a serious student. They should read not once but 100 times, for only thus can the true meaning be revealed. A casual reading will give glimpses of beauty, but more intrusive study will open avenues of wisdom to the seeker. That's what I'm doing. Going basically paragraph by paragraph, kind of talking about it. Not in the preface really, but now a word as to those mighty secrets came to be revealed to modern man after being hidden so long. Some 1,300 years BC, Egypt, the ancient Chem, was in turmoil, and many delegations of priests were sent to other parts of the world. Among these were some of the pyramid priests who carried them with the emerald tablets as a talisman by which they could exercise authority over the less advanced priestcraft of races descended from other Atlantean colonies. So people in lower consciousness levels possibly, or just maybe knowledge and lower knowledge. The tablets were understood from legend to give the bearer authority from Thoth. The particular group of priests bearing the tablets immigrated to South America, where they found a flourishing race, the Mayas, who remembered much of the ancient wisdom. Among these, the priests settled and remained. In the 10th century, the Mayas had thoroughly settled in the Yucatan, and the tablets were placed beneath the altar of one of the great temples of the sun god. After the request of the Mayas by the Spaniards, the cities were abandoned and the treasures of the temples forgotten. It should be understood that the Great Pyramid of Egypt has been and is still a temple of initiation into the mysteries. Jesus, Solomon, Apollonius, and others were initiated there. The writer, who has a connection with the Great White Lodge, which also works through the pyramid priesthood, was instructed to recover and return the Great Pyramid. To the Great Pyramid the ancient tablets. This, after adventures which need not be detailed here, was accomplished. Before returning them, he was given permission to translate and retain a copy of wisdom engraved on the tablets. This was done in 1925, and only now has permission been given for part to be published. It is expected that many will scoff, yet the true student will read between the lines and gain wisdom. If the light is in you, the light which is engraved in these tablets will respond. Now a word as to the material aspect of the tablets. They consist of 12 tablets of emerald. That doesn't make sense. 12 tablets of emerald green. Why they say it's 10. Formed from a substance created through alchemical transmutation. They are imperishable, resistant to all elements and substances. In effect, the atomic and cellular structure is fixed. No change can ever take place. In this respect, they violate the material law of ionization. Upon them are engraved characters in the ancient Atlantean language, characters which respond to the attuned thought waves, releasing the associated mental vibration in the mind of the reader. The tablets are fastened together with hoops of golden-colored alloy suspended from a rod of the same material. So much for the material appearance. The wisdom contained therein is the foundation of the ancient mysteries, and for the one who reads with open eyes and mind, his wisdom shall be increased 100-fold. Read, believe or not, but read, and the vibration found therein will awaken in response in your soul. In cosmic harmony, Doreal, supreme voice of the brotherhood. Interesting. I didn't know he really had, something. Reveal some of the mysteries. This goes from Dr. Doreal or whatever. In the following pages I will reveal some of the mysteries which is yet to have been touched upon lightly either by myself or other teachers or students of truth. Man's search for understanding of the laws which regulated his life have been unending, yet always just higher planes for imperial vision of truth has existed. This is just... Okay, so I'm going to continue with this because... Introduction to the original and interpretation of them. Man's search for understanding of the laws which regulate his life have been unending, yet always just beyond the veil which shields the higher planes from the materials. Man's vision, the truth has existed, ready to be assimilated by those who enlarge their vision by turning inward, not outward, in their search. In the silence of material senses lies the key to unveiling the wisdom. He who talks does not know. He who knows does not talk. The highest knowledge is unutterable, for it exists as an entity in lanes which transcend all material words or symbols. Highest knowledge is unutterable. That's just like saying best, most knowledgeable things and beautiful things are unexplainable. All symbols are but keys to the doors leading to truths, and many times the door is not open because the key seems so great that the things which are beyond it are not visible. If we understand that all keys and all material symbols are manifestations are but extensions of a great law and truth, we will begin to develop the vision which will enable us to penetrate beyond the veil. All things in all universes move according to law, and the law which regulates the movement of the planets is no more immutable than the law which regulates the material expressions of man. One of the greatest of all cosmic laws is that which is responsible for the formation of man as a material being. The great aim of the mystery schools of all ages has been to reveal the workings of the law which connect man to the material and the man to the spiritual. The connecting link between the material man and the spiritual man is an intellectual man, for the mind partakes both the material and immaterial qualities. The aspirant for higher knowledge must develop the intellectual side of his nature and so strengthen his will that is able to concentrate all powers of his being on and in the plane he desires. The great search for light, life, and love only begins on the material plane. Carried to its ultimate, its final goal is complete oneness with the universal consciousness. That's very true. The foundation in the material is the first step. Then comes the higher goal of spiritual attainment. And in the following pages, I will give an interpretation of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth and their secret, hidden, and esoteric meanings. Concealed in the words of Thoth are many meanings that do not appear on the surface. Light of knowledge brought to bear upon the tablets will open many new fields for thought. Read and be wise, but only if the light of your own consciousness awakens the deep-seated understanding which is an inherent quality of the soul. And the threefold light Doreal. So that's kind of interesting. Well, that covers it for the preface, and yeah. I don't know if there's much to like or subscribe to this video other than the fact that I, read a preface to the thing. But whatever works. Have a great day. And yeah, it's definitely best to, get familiar with these before you kind of delve into whatever I'm talking about. Basically, yeah, I'll mention that Tablet 4 is extremely interesting for, like, if I was to, like, really get someone into these, I would start with Tablet 4, showing them what they talk about with, if they're really thousands of years old, and he's talking about going above the pyramids and seeing all that stuff, and that is pretty freaking cool. And definitely knowledge that we should take a little more, not necessarily seriously, but just definitely look into it to see if they're, see the ancient wisdom that is within these. So, yeah, thanks. Have a great day.